you're doing the banging, and I'm moving on, but I'm following along with what you're doing. But this is it's like I think it's meant to be psychologically helpful, but that you want your narrator to like continue to say this, but but that you're sort of, let me proceed cautiously, because I'm not, our interest here isn't, saying a bunch of things unless we can, like, say more or explain more. But, like, okay, in the other video we're saying, like, look, they're playing out our political class is playing out this theater and has been doing it from the beginning, because the reality is we can't have any health, move towards any, public health care, any health care for people, any affordable health care, or towards ultimately a national health care system, okay, because what I said in the other video, maybe we should, say more about it, but they have to play out this drama, because the reality is, like I said, we lost our economic sovereignty in this era, that there is what is often referred to as a virtual senate of international lenders and investors who can carry out a sort of moment-to-moment referendum on government policy, government's domestic policies, that if governments behave, as I said, with what international investors would call irrationally, meaning doing things like moving towards healthcare or building the economy or even attempts to stimulate their economy, those governments can be punished with flight of capital, meaning they'll sell off the billions of dollars they have of our currency and just pull their money out. And that's the way in which they can punish just anything that would dip the value of the currency for a little while, because positive growth in healthcare and things does dip the value of the currency. But I guess that this is new in our era. Okay. Okay, you sort of directed me to something. It may be to be quiet, but I mean, this is what nationalists like believe. You wanted me in your thing. It's true though. It's true though. It's part of the shift. It's part of the shift towards neoliberalism that's been taking place. Only it's in my lifetime. Okay, you know. Well, first of all, that we were part of it. See, when they talk about doing this reckless behavior domestically and like its effect on the global economy, part of the global economic order that was functional and that was changed in our era. Okay, it had been a system of regulated currencies and capital controls. That is, regulations on the movement of capital in and out of countries. Okay, that was the sort of the period of when the economic ideas of John Maynard Keynes, as I understand correctly, were what our economy and the sort of global economic system was based on. That's what that Bretton Woods. Often people say we need a new Bretton Woods. There was a meeting in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, where the British negotiator Harry Dexter White and the American negotiator John Maynard Keynes, designed a system of regulated currencies and capital controls. But the reason for it, first of all, was thought that the free. All right, you're banging. If international lenders and investors, if foreign banks, okay, can buy and sell billions of dollars of our currency anytime, whenever they want, and move money in and out of our economy whenever they want, okay, anything our government would do or our Senate would do that would threaten the interests of international lenders and investors who own that much of our currency, our government will be punished for doing that with flight of capital, and then our economy will really collapse, okay? So governments like ours, and we're one of them, who lost their economic sovereignty under this, like, new world we're living in since the 70s, that's been part of the neoliberal project, is that we can't move towards healthcare, we can't move towards building rebuilding our infrastructures, why green technology doesn't come. All of that would depreciate the currency, and the government will be punished by flight of capital. Things like having health care right? International lenders and investors will punish our government for that. Okay, governments are power. That's why they had negotiated at Bretton Woods a regulated system, an economic system, because it was thought to be a threat to trade and a threat to economics to have anything else, and that's what we have. The neoliberal period is in an absolute decline in trade under the brand name free trade, and our government is unable to do things to stimulate our national economy, get health care, or new waves of production. We don't have economic sovereignty anymore.